Hello, everyone. We are going to be getting started. Just like to start by introducing myself. I am Julie Floyd. I am the founder and CEO of Styled Life and the Styled Life Crown Club. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm super excited about today's webinar, Wedding Hairstyles for Natural Hair. We've been wanting to do this one for a long time, and we're very excited that we've got Tiffany Reid here, who is going to present today's webinar on Wedding Hairstyles with Natural Hair. Tiffany Reid is a certified and licensed cosmetologist and a proud graduate of the University of the West Indies. She is the founder of Styled by Tiff, specializing in curly cuts, hair extensions, and bridal styling. Known for her precision and personalized approach, Tiffany is passionate about helping women look and feel their best one style at a time. With that, I'd like to welcome Tiffany and let her get going. Thank you.
Okay, so hi everyone. I am Tiffany Reid and I am so excited to share with you natural wedding hairstyles for natural hair, and I'll just get started. All right, so we'll be looking at wedding hairstyles for natural hair, and I'll also be looking at the different styles that we can do on natural hair for weddings, such as updos. I'll also be giving you some pre-tips for that big day as to what you can do to your hair, and also styles that you can do with your natural hair. Why natural hair deserves the spotlight? So firstly, natural hair is not just a style or a texture. It's a statement. It is rooted in our pride and our identity. It is something that we have come a long way in learning how to embrace it, and it is versatile. It is not just a state of the hair that you just wear it in one style only. You can always try different styles such as updos and curls, as I mentioned. Natural hairstyle is embracing your texture. So it's a part of embracing your texture and celebrating your identity. Current stats that slaps about natural hair. So with natural hair, it has been found out that 70% of Black women has started to wear their natural hair, meaning they have stopped chemically relaxing their hair. Now, this is something that I can also attest to, because being on the salon floors, I have seen where a lot of persons, they've started to transition their hair. So they're going from relaxing it to growing it out to being natural. Not only that, we have also found out that a lot of these hair brands, they have now started to cater to natural hair. So you can see whereby they've started to offer certain products that cater to natural, kinky, curly hair. Natural hair deserves a spotlight also because it is where you find that brides, they feel more comfortable and confident with their hair. I've had brides who come in with their natural hair, and after wearing it, they'll come and say they didn't know that they could feel that confident with their natural hair, and they have decided to wear it more and to give it that love and to showcase it in such a manner where they show that it is also deserving of receiving that spotlight, So those are some of the reasons why our natural hair deserve the spotlight. Common concerns brides have. So I have brides who come in a lot of times not so sure about wearing their natural hair on that special day. It's a big day. They're excited. They're also nervous and they just want to make the right decision. And the concerns, they're natural, so I totally understand. But with proper prepping and with a good stylist, it is possible to nail the hairstyle on that big day. And these are some of the concerns. Will it last all day? Can it hold the veil? Will it match my dress, jewelry, or theme? Can it work with my natural hair, with my hair length or texture? And you know, when they ask, will it work, and all of these questions, I'm always there to say yes. I reassure them that yes, it can work. I've seen it and I know that it can work. So with all of these concerns, I would say that natural hair is not just a style or a texture. It is also dependable. Your natural hair is dependable. So you don't have to think that it might not work. Will it stay all day? Yes, we can remedy that with the right products. You know, using the right products is very important. Using the right hold is also very important as well. And the next concern, will it match my dress, jewelry, or theme? We can go through catalogs, we can have discussions, pre-consultations in selecting the right dress, the right hairstyle rather. For example, you're wearing a lovely, you know, an elegant dress, but it has a dramatic cut in the back. You don't want to wear something that is a hairstyle that is flowing down to cause any distraction, because you want the focus to be on that cut. So we would opt for a style, for example, a lower bun to the back of the hair, but it is together. It's not loose, causing, you know, and you can't go wrong with a lower bun. It is put together and it's elegant. Can it work with my hair length or texture? So texture with me and my brides is never a problem. I believe in embracing that natural texture, that God-given texture that you were given, you know, by first learning how to love it and embrace it and caring for it, most importantly. So if we don't have the length, we can always add extension. There are premium quality extensions out there that can be added to enhance the look of the style that you've selected. And as I said before, texture is not an issue. We can look for styles that will be most suitable for your texture, that will give you that sophisticated look on your big day. So common concerns are some of these that I received, but they're not an issue. They can be remedied. So moving to our next slide. Pre-wedding hair prep tips. Now for this, I am most excited about this one because I'm big on it. I strongly believe that proper prepping for that big day is immensely important. Why? Because the state of your hair can make or break a bridal hairstyle, especially for natural hair. So leading up to the wedding, I always tell my brides to book a consultation. A consultation is where we start. So in the consultation session, I will assess the hair, where I check for split ends. Now, split ends usually cause frizzing, so we cannot afford to have any split ends leading up to the big day, because it causes frizzes and it can cause the hairstyle to not look its best, plainly said. So we would do trim leading up to the day. I also check for elasticity. Now, elasticity of the hair has to do with how well the hair stretches and recoils. Once there's elasticity, there's evidence that the hair is healthy. There's no heat damage or any sort of bleach damage on the hair, which means that If we're opting for a curl, we'll get luxurious, luscious curls that won't be limping, but instead showing its natural curl pattern. So we check for that in the consultation session. And we also check for the moisture of the hair. If the hair is dry, we will have to work on that. So treatment sessions where we do moisture treatments or protein treatments, depending on if the hair is a bit weak and needs some protein and other nutrients to the hair shaft. So we would do those sorts of treatments,
Tiffany, I
right?
have a question for you.
Sure.
What I think you just said is one of the things you check for is elasticity of
Yes.
the hair, because that is part of how you determine the health of the hair.
Yes.
Right. So on like we've been doing these webinars for a while. It's the first time I've ever heard that specifically.
Mm-hmm.
That and can you just can you just go into a little more detail about that? So if your hair doesn't have any elasticity, that means it's very damaged. And can you recover from that?
Okay, so yes, if your hair doesn't have elasticity, it means that there is some damage. You can recall what you have done recently, whether it was a silk press or you had a bleach service done, or it was the hair was just exposed to excessive heat. Now, elasticity has to do with how well the hair recoils. So when you stretch it, it goes back to its curly state, right? So the hair is made up of two bonds. You have the hydrogen bonds, which are broken when water gets onto the hair. Now, that is related to how well the hair recoils. So say, for example, the hair was blow dried, right? So the heat was applied to it to blow dry it. So the bonds were broken, the hydrogen bonds. In order to get the hair to recoil, you have to put water on it, H2O, which has hydrogen, hence the hydrogen bonds. So when you put the water onto the hair shaft, those bonds are then replaced. So you find that the hair goes back to its curly state. Now, if the hair is unable to do that, to go back to its curly state, it means that the bonds were broken excessively. And so it cannot go back to its curly state. Hence, it is damaged. And that is permanent because you cannot replace those bonds. You'll have to grow the hair out. So you'll have to have new growth. There's nothing that can be done to change it.
Okay, great. Thank you for going into a little more detail about that. I'll let you continue. Thank you.
You're welcome. So those are some of the pre-wedding hair prep tips. And lastly, I don't want to come off this slide without mentioning the state of your scalp. So the health and the state of your scalp leading up to your wedding day is very important, especially if the client has a scalp condition, whether it be seborrheic dermatitis, eczema, or dry scalp. We want to address and remedy that before the big day. Because the last thing we want is to do your lovely wedding hairstyle that you would have selected and you're so excited about. And then when you're looking back at the pictures, you're seeing flakes, white flakes on the scalp, you know? That's not what we want. So we would treat these scalp conditions, whether it be a scalp detox or applying topical treatments or working internally, being cognizant of what you intake. So if you have a lactose intolerance, you want to avoid those type of food, you know? So we try to work on the state of the scalp leading up to your big day. So healthy scalp, healthy hair equals a lovely and sophisticated hairstyle. We just want the best being brought forward. So that is also very important leading up to the big day. So it's not just about the day, the style, and how it looks, but also how it looks is dependent on what you would have done before the big day. So treatments, hydration, moisturizing, and I also stress that a lot as well, moisturizing. Because, for example, you said that you want to do defined curls for your big day. I cannot assure you luscious and shiny and moisturized curls if you weren't doing any moisturizing leading up to the day. So it's important to moisturize daily. So you're going to moisturize. Most moisturizers are water-based and they have humectants in them, usually used in beauty products, and hair products are glycerin. So that absorbs the moisture from the air and it moisturizes the hair within the moisturizer. And then what I also recommend to do is to, in order to seal that in, you use a butter or an oil to seal in the moisture onto the hair. Now, if you do that daily, over time, the hair will become softer and more manageable. So that is also important to do. So hair care and hair prep is like the most important aspect of selecting wedding hairstyles for natural hair for me personally as a stylist. So I always stress this a lot. And lastly, recommended styles to stretch the hair or grow the hair in time. There are different styles that you can do to stretch the hair for persons who have extreme shrinkage. So you can do like twist outs, or there are different techniques that you can use an elastic to like wrap the hair at night. So that's another recommendation that I usually give. All right, so moving on.
Hi, Tiffany. I have another question about using hair oils and butter.
Yeah.
I actually have been doing more and more of that um, in the past, I don't know, like year since I've been learning from Crown Club. But I do
Mm-hmm.
find that sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
will change my current curl pattern, not change the curl pattern, but how do you do,
Mm-hmm.
like, if you feel like your curls are perfect the way they are and you want
Mm-hmm.
to moisturize, how do you put that in without, you know, yeah, without changing the current state of your curl, or do you just not worry about that because the priority is having moisturized hair?
Okay, so you said that when you use the butters, that's when you feel that your curl texture changes, or just the moisturizer?
No, I mean, like sometimes if I put, I mean, I guess it depends on like what I'm doing next. Like I feel as though if I were to put oil on my hair right now,
Mm-hmm.
then I mean, maybe not good or bad, but it would just like maybe not loosen the curl, but it would kind of change it a little bit more than I want it to. Because I'm always trying to
Mm-hmm.
get my hair to be really defined curls. And I feel as though sometimes, when I put some moisturizing products or even a leave-in conditioner that you can use for dry hair, it
Mm-hmm.
will then alter the current curl pattern, but maybe I don't want that. Am I explaining it okay?
Yes, I do understand what
Okay.
you're asking. So it depends on the type of oil that you're using.
Okay.
So we have light-weighted oils and we have heavy oils. Some are considered as base oils or carrier oils. Carrier oils are usually thicker, you know. So let's say, for example, castor oil. You have your lovely curls. You would not want to add castor oil to your hair because it's very thick. So it would limp the curls. So you find that it would be weighed down. So it depends on the type of oil. And this now, it comes in where you have to be cognizant of the products that are the ingredients in the product. So product knowledge as a stylist is very important. And as a consumer as well, so you have to like read it to know the types of oils that are in there and the essential oils or the carrier oils. So you don't want to use a moisturizer that has an heavy oil in it because it will limp down the hair. Also, it depends on the texture of your hair. If you're fine stranded, I usually opt for like cleaner products and those that are lightweighted because you don't want to take the life away from your hair. You want it to look alive and luscious. So lighter moisturizers, and we avoid heavy oils. So almond oil would be, or avocado oil would be considered as a lightweighted oil, or even coconut oil. But coconut oil has been deemed to be a bit drying, so I usually don't recommend that one. But it depends on the type of product that you're using.
Yeah,
But that is possible, what
well,
you're
so I
experiencing.
started using our Style Life oil at night before I wrap my hair to go to bed, and I really like that. But I just know, like,
Yeah.
if I were to put on like an oil during the day, I feel like it doesn't even. I don't know. I feel like when yeah, wrap it up and keep it protected under the silk cap, I wake up in the morning and it feels a lot more moisturized than if I just did it during the day.
Yes. All right. Thank you for that question, Julie. So going back to our slide. So we're done with pre-wedding hair prep tips, and moving on. Well, just to go through it again, we do treatments leading up. We ensure that we're moisturizing daily. We also do scalp treatments and the detox and different methods of stretching the hair. All right, so bridal hairstyle categories. So there, as I said, natural hair is not limited. We are not limited. It is versatile. We can try different things, you know. Natural hair is not a struggle. And it's an experience. So of course, we're gonna have different bridal styles that we will try and that I will recommend to brides and that they'll showcase on their big day. So first, we have elegant updos. Now, elegant updos is one of the popular bridal hairstyles that we have because most persons, they want to look sophisticated and just well put together on that day. So updos are usually well put together, nothing loose or that you have to worry about getting into your face, etc. For natural girlies though, we have low buns. So this low bun here, this bride here is actually one of my clients. So when she came in, she wanted something that is simple because simple is usually classy. I say simple is always classy. You just can't go wrong with simple. You're not doing too much, but also not playing it too safe. And of course, we can accessorize to bring life to it. So she opted for a low bun updo, and this one usually goes well with almost any dress, in my opinion. So we did the low bun, so it's a sleek back, so all the hair put together, and then we added some natural extension on the ends, which is usually not so visible because of how it's done. And I opt for textures that would match the bride's natural hair texture because we want to go for something that looks realistic and classy at the same time, and you can easily accessorize it. So we had the head placement at the front that brought some life to it and also complements her face, and it's not doing too much. So low buns is an option for natural hair girlies. And we have this one over here where we have the twist going around the side. So, but this one, I usually opt for this to like complement the face. You want to shape the face. What if the person has, for example, a really round face? You don't want the face to look too bland. So you shape it with some twist that comes around. So you add that oomph to the face, the person's facial shape. And you don't want to do it too big. You want to get a size that is well suitable for the person's head shape and head size. You can always add a vine to it or some flowers. It depends on the vibe that the bride is going for or the style of the dress. So we do updos on natural hair too, not just straight hair. And these are two perfect examples of natural hair updo for brides. And these are lovely. I actually enjoy doing low bun updos. And we also have two other updos. This one, this lovely bride, she has a high ponytail that is well put together. It's not left out loose. And as I said, it depends on the bride and the vibe that they have or the personality. We find different ways to showcase that. So for her, this bride would opt for some cornrows at the side, which are stitch braids. That's very creative and versatile. And nothing done in her face, so the curls would have been brought back. And even simpler over here, you have the cornrow back updo. So cornrows, they're sturdy. So if you want to be very comfortable and laid back, not worrying about anything falling out or hair falling into your face, a cornrow updo would be perfect for you, you know, and you can always play around with it. You can always be expressive by adding your flower, whether it's or a butterfly accessory as well. So these are some perfect example of updos that you can do for natural hair. And even over here, she was able to place her crown lovely on the top of her head. And that updo is a very sturdy one where the veil would be able to anchor at the top or at the bottom. So these are some of the perks of wearing your natural hair on your wedding day. You're not limited when wearing your natural hair for your wedding day. So moving right along, we have the textured braid styles, which includes cornrows, goddess braids, or feeding. Now this one, these wedding styles are, I realized that the brides who want to feel laid back or want something that is sturdy, you know, something that will be a good anchor for their veil, they usually opt for these options. And not only feeling, you know, comfortable or having something sturdy, but also I've realized I've had brides who came in who just wanted to not worry about their hair after the wedding, you know, especially if they're going on their honeymoon immediately after the wedding. So they'll come and I'll do the braids or the fox locks, and we will add those in and do it in a updo. So you're getting best of both worlds. So you have something that is durable, it's sturdy and reliable, as well as being able to put it in an updo. So it's extremely versatile. So we're able to do an updo with it. And this is a perfect example here with the bride over here on the left. She has in her boho braids. She has braids, right? Secure, flexible. And she was also able to add curls, to add that flair, you know, that goddess look. She was also able to do that. Perfect. You can see the updo there. And after this, after the big day, she can always let that down for her honeymoon. She can let her hair loose and have fun, you know, enjoy her vacation. So I find that persons usually opt for these bridal hairstyles just to ensure that they don't have a lot of work to do and they can enjoy the moment, be in the moment without fussing about their hair, getting messed up or anything of that sort. If you look, you can see the hair accessory, lovely. This is sophisticated and elegant. It's not taking too much from her face, but at the same time, it complements the makeup as well as the curls falling down. Just beautiful in my eyes, you know? So that's another natural bridal hairstyle there. You know, just getting your boho, whether it be fox lock or braids, and you have the curls. Now over here, we have a bride. If you look closely, you can see that it's a natural lock. So you do have brides who come in with their natural locks that they would have been growing over the years. Now, having natural locks, some would think that you are limited to styles, but that's not the case. With the locks, you can also do updos as well. You can also have it curled. It can be rod, and you can just add, as a stylist, as I said, with proper planning, you can discuss and think about different styles that you want to do or different vibe that you want to bring to that person's hair, her natural hair, without damaging it. Of course, we're going to, with natural hair, you're going to get the most beautiful wedding hairstyle for that big day that goes beyond I do. So after the big day, your hair is not damaged. It should still be healthy. You should still be able to wear that natural hair, those natural kinks, and embrace it confidently without being concerned with any damage that would have taken place in or on the wedding day. All right, so this is one updo with locks, and this is one with braids, of course. And next we have, and this is one of my favorite, rather, because afros and puffs, they're bold. It takes a bold Black woman, a confident bride to rock that afro and those puff. Yes, it does, to embrace that curl. We've come a long way as Black women in embracing our natural hair. And for a bride to decide to wear her afro on that big day, kudos to her. So I usually love seeing the afros and I love speaking about them. So here we have this beautiful bride. So beautiful. She's wearing her afro out. So if you look closely, you can see that some of her natural curl pattern is also showing, but it's not so defined. So for brides who don't want to opt for that curly look, you can easily do a afro out like this. Simple, elegant, classy. I love it. So this is beautiful. And it doesn't take away from the dress again. And also her face, it's being showcased. It's not taking away from her face. Her natural features are being showed, so this is just beautiful. This is also another option for natural hair brides. And then we have over here this yet another stunningly beautiful bride. Her smile is so gorgeous. She's embracing, and you can see that confidence, that beam, with the natural fro showing. This is also another option for brides. Simple, no worrying about styling or accessories. For some persons, they can pair with a flower at the side. It all depends. So there are different ways to showcase your natural kink and curls. And I love afros. I just love the confidence that it comes with, So afro is also another option for my natural hair brides on their big day. And this one is a more defined curl. No, when I was speaking about prep tips for your wedding day, I had mentioned about the treatments and the curls. So this one would be a perfect example. I mean, it is important for the other styles, but it's also very important for defined curls, wash and goes. And did I mention that I love to see a bride with her curls? I've had clients who I had to persuade to wear their natural curls. Like I would have styled them before, and I'm familiar with them. They're my clients, and they happen to be getting married. So I know what their hair is capable of. I know the beauty of it. I know how far they've come with it, and I've nurtured it over the years, and they will say, "Oh, I think I want to do a sewing. I want to wear a lace wig." And to my surprise, I am so shocked I'm astonished. I'm like, why would you want to wear a wig and you have such lovely hair? Like, why? And they'll be like, oh, I don't think my hair can do this, and I don't think my hair can do that, the concerns. And I would explain to them, and I'll be like, this would be so lovely on you, and I think that you should wear this. And then they'll believe me. And we do have pre-trials because you don't wait until the big day, brides do the styling. So you have pre-bridal trials, where we see how it really looks. Because you can envision something, but when it's done, it's not really what you want. And we can also improve it or opt for something else. So the bride has to be properly guided, as I mentioned before. But yeah, I would have to explain to them that, hey, you can always do curls, you know? I've seen you in this before, or we could always try it. Because they have long, lovely hair. And of course, with their natural hair, it just gives that radiant look that, how do I explain it? There's just something about wearing your natural hair that extension doesn't give to you, And I'll explain that to them, and then they'll opt for it. And they never regret it. I'm telling you, they never regret it. They'll come back and they'll be like, the pictures came out so perfectly, and I love it. I'm so glad that I listened, etc. And they'll be like, I'm so grateful I didn't do the silk press because the humidity in Jamaica, etc. And they'll just love it. And this is one style that I usually recommend to most of my natural hair girlies who have like a good length, and whichever texture it is good for them because we don't have texture preferences. Whatever your texture is, you just have to love it, you have to care for it and embrace it. But this one requires a lot of hair care leading up to the big day because you don't want your curls to be looking dried out. You don't want it to be looking trashy because you didn't get your routine trims leading up to it. And yes, it radiates your beauty. It doesn't distract from your natural beauty, It's just lovely. And the curls are well defined. And I must mention lastly that product knowledge is very important with wash and goes. Very, very important with wash and goes. Because you don't want to use a product that will be flaking on that day. You want to use a gel that you would have known that it works for your hair. It's not gonna be flaking. You want to use a gel that is botanical. It's not too harsh. It won't make your curls too firm, You want to avoid those strong holding gels with synthetic properties or those that have parabens. You want to pair the gel with also products that complement the gel because not all products complement it. And you want to ensure that it is high quality products, And as mentioned earlier by Julie, the Style the Life do have wonderful products, so you guys should check them out, You should really check them out and try them on the hair, just to help the hair to flourish and to thrive and to be moisturized and not deprived. So that's also.
Sorry, just before we move on, there was a question from one of our viewers that asks about the oils. We have wonderful products at styledlife.com at our beauty shop. So you can check out our hair care products, absolutely. And also the link if you want to take a look at the products there in the chat as well. Feel free to take a look. We have our Nourish Hair Oil and the Grow and Flourish Hair Oil. Another question came in. The viewer said that they never thought or know that there was such thing as a pre-hair wedding tryouts.
Yes.
And is asking if all stylists offer that. So can you answer that for us?
So yes, firstly, remember to check out the products, guys. And the pre-wedding, I cannot speak for all stylists, but I can speak for myself. And for some other stylists that I know, they do, but I don't know if it's all, but I would recommend that all do it. I would highly recommend that because you don't want to wait until the big day. You're realizing that the style doesn't complement your facial shape. The hair length wouldn't give you that look. It doesn't have a good anchor for the veil. You just don't want to have all of those mishaps on the day, you know? So it's better to prepare, you know? Don't fail to prepare.
And you're
So
right. You are absolutely correct. And one thing that Style Life does is that we have a virtual session. So if any bride want to do a trial session, want to do a virtual session, you can have access to Tiffany through our Style Life stylist, as well as other celebrity stylists for your hair and also makeup. But that's something that we can do for any brides who's out there watching and want to do a few sessions. Style Life does that for all of our brides and the bridal party as well.
So for the brides who are watching, let's not neglect this. Let's not take it for granted. Do that pre-wedding hairstyle. Yeah, do the trial. It is very important, you know, because you can see what you'd like to change. You don't want to be doing those changes on the day. All right. And thank you for that question for the person who asked. So we're clear on the wash and goes, the defined curls rather. And we're moving on. So we have twist outs and rods. Twist outs and rods, they're simple but elegant. They're simple but elegant. That's the most I'll say about it for now. Yes, so showing, you know, this is a perfect example. So twist out is basically twisting the hair and pulling it out. The twist would have stretched the hair and then you pull it out and it showcases the curls. In most cases, majority of it is your natural curl pattern, you know? So persons can wear it as is, or they add a little plait at the side or cornrows, or she could have put a flowers there or a vine, you know, accessories to just complement it and to bring it alive. So it's similar to defined curls, except that you're not adding any gels to the hair. So if you have allergy to gel or gel don't react well with your hair or your scalp, you can always do a twist out to achieve the similar look, you know? And she is looking gorgeous, stunning. I love to see a twist out on a bride. All right, so twist out now is for the brides who would be wondering if they can achieve it at home. You know, so this is one of the bridal styles that can be done at home, and Styles Alive do offer Jillian, do you want to speak more on this? They do offer like live sessions where
Yes,
they
absolutely. So we offer virtual sessions for the wedding party, the bride, the bridesmaid, if they want to book a consultation just to see where they are. That's something that we can do. And we'll walk them through the process of how to style the hair. And very soon, they can also book Tiffany if they want, if they're on wherever in the world they are, they want to have a session with Tiffany or any of our other stylists. Once you go through stylelife.com/stylist, we can get you a consultation to get your question answered, to walk you through the hairstyle. And if you're maybe off island doing a destination wedding, you can also have access to Tiffany through our Style Life booking platform as well.
Okay, thank you so much. So see guys, you don't have to worry. Style Alive do have you covered, and you can do the virtual sessions with them where you'll be properly guided and you'll be given the best advice and recommendation to have the best look on your special day, that big day, the wedding day. So that's it for twist out, and also for rod sets, you can achieve the look as well. You know, so that this is also another style that can be done by yourself, you know, with the help of a stylist virtually. So the rods, it will be used to rod the hair, which gives you the type of curl that you want. And the thing with rod sets, I must mention, it is extremely versatile. So whether you want loose curls, medium curls, or extremely tight curls, you can achieve that. If your hair is not naturally like tight or loose, you can use the rods to alter the hair to achieve these curls. And of course, you can add your own vibe to it with cornrows, accessories. You know, you can even do an updo at the back and the rod sets at the front, you know, to complement the face. Whatever it may be, natural hair is indeed versatile. So you're not limited once again. All right. And wash and goes and rod sets is not just for persons with a certain type of curls. It's for everyone, whether it's that you have looser curls or kinkier curls, you can achieve it. This is a perfect example. She's wearing a twist out and she has rather tighter curls. And she looks just as stunning and gorgeous. She looks elegant and I love it, you know? Look at her confident smile. She is radiating. She is beautiful. So it's not just for one hair type, you know, it's for everyone. So natural hair, we have options. And this is also another bride over here with her curls, and see she has her accessory there, and she's looking just as lovely, and I love it. We have locks and fox locks, styled and adorned or swept up. So you can do different locks. I'd mentioned the bride earlier who has locks. So these are other persons with locks, but they have various updos. So you see with locks is not limited, guys. It's not limited. There are so many different styles. The other day I had a client who came in with locks that are like mid-calf, extremely long. And this is the style that she would have opted for. And you would see her locks and you'd be like, why is her lock so long? What can be done with that? How does she manage it? But it's versatile. There are different types of rods and instrument that they make now that you can put the hair onto it and you wrap it and then you bend it, you add the elastic and then it looks shorter. So there are different styles. As you can see here, you have updos, you have pin curls, you name it. It's not limited. And I love this vine right here on hers. So she has the smaller locks. Those are called sister locks. And of course, she has her rod curls at the front. Because you can rod locks as well. She has an updo, a lower updo at the back. And she has that lovely vine like covering the entire side of her head. You know, that's a vibe. That's lovely. I love it. So it's not just simple, but it's elegant, and you can play around. You can express your personality with their accessories, and we'll be touching on that. I think it's next. Yeah, so these are some styles. So this one here, that's some rod curls at the front, you know, and you have the pearls, you have the twist with the bantu ends. Guys, natural hair is not limited. You can be very versatile. With proper planning and a good stylist, you're all set. So yes, accessories. So accessories to elevate the look. To me, accessories, they're like the cherry on top. You know, you have the lovely desserts and then you just add the cherry on top. That's accessories for me. Like, it adds that finishing look that you need to just complete the entire look for that big day. So there are different types of accessories, guys. So we have headband, we have the hair vine, we have floral, you name it. So hair jewelry, gold cuffs, crystal pins, veils, and how to anchor. So with the hair jewelry, you can use them to just simply beautify the look, as well as you can use some of them to help to anchor the veil for those brides who want to wear veils. You have floral crowns if you want to look like a princess. If you want to have that goddess look, you can always add a floral crown, you know. You have satin wraps or beaded headbands, you name it. There are a variety of hair accessories. And you want to opt for something that complements the hairstyle. You don't want something that is too heavy. So for example, you have soft, loose curls. You don't want a crown because that would be too heavy on the curls, because the curls, they give you a soft look. So you want something to softly complement it. You don't want something heavy that will be weighing it down, as opposed to a lower bun updo, you know, firm, anchored, a good foundation. So you can always place a crown on top of that. Or if it's a high updo, a crown around it would be awesome because the support is there. So we must be cognizant of the type of accessories that we pair with the hairstyle. Also, you don't want something that's overly dramatic that will take away from the dress, you know? So it's temperance. You have to be mindful of those things. You don't want to do too much there and too little there. Styling tips. Matching accessories. Yeah, I just explained that. So you match accessory size and weight to your hairstyle. Heavy crowns need sturdy updos. Yes. Petite flowers are perfect for loose, soft looks. Maintain balance. Balance is very important. If your gown and jewelry are bold, you want to maintain balance. So if your gown is like dramatic, it's exotic, you don't want to do too much with the hair accessory. You don't want to move the attention from the dress, you know? It says go lighter on your hair adornments and vice versa. I highly recommend that. Secure well, especially for outdoor curly styles. So if you're having an outdoor wedding, you want to ensure that certain styles are anchored properly. So you're going to use up your pins. You're going to do all of that. You're going to sew down stuff sturdy so they're firm, so the wind is not blowing out anything. Because you don't want any mishaps on the big day. You want everything to go smoothly, especially the hair. For those of us who are big on the hair, because to me, personally, hair is like the most important aspect of my look, because with your hairstyle, you can make or break your look. Like with a good hairstyle, you can like rock any outfit. You just look really nice once your hairstyle is looking lovely, you know? So you want to ensure that everything is secured on the big day. So use extra pin and hairspray lightly. So you don't want to use too much hairspray. You also want to use products that works well with humidity. So it will keep your curls intact and the styles intact. So those are very, very important styling tips, guys. And the day off. Hair tips for brides. I know on the day, brides are usually nervous. They can be anxious. I've seen it. I've worked like hand in hand. Like sometimes I feel like I'm the maid of honor, like I'm doing everything. So they can be nervous. So you want to ensure that you prep them from before and you give them tips, and that they actually do these things on the day. They follow through with these hair tips for the bride, you know? So on the big day, guys, you don't want to be experimenting on the wedding day. So you don't experiment on the wedding day. And as such, this is why I say that pre-wedding trial is very important. So you would have tried it, you would have loved it. You know, with my brides, we tried the hairstyle, we adjust what needs to be adjusted. And you can have more than one trials, guys. It's not limited. Because you want to ensure that you are well pleased, you're comfortable, most of all comfortable with the style, you know? And you're familiar with it prior. So on the wedding day, you're not going to try, you're not, my Jamaican patois coming in, you're not going to try anything new. We're going to stick to what we would have done in the pre-trial. Okay? All right. You're going to use humidity-proof products. If you're in an area that is highly humid, you want to ensure that you use up your humidity products to keep the style intact, not losing the curls, not looking frizzy and all over the place, because you want to get the perfect wedding pictures. Have a touch-up kit. Very important. especially as natural girlies. We want to have our touch-up kits. You want to have your edge brush, your pins, your shine spray, oil sheens, you know, so that if anything needs fixing up, you can do that if the stylist is not around until that time. So you have your edge brush so you can fix your edges. If if you would have sweat it out, or if a curl fell down, or you know, an hair accessory needs an extra anchor, you would put a pin in. So it's always good to have that kit for backup. Very important, guys. I'm telling you. For the brides who are watching, take my word for it. So you're going to protect the style with satin wraps until it's time to reveal. Very important. I've seen it. Makeup artists, like, accidentally, most cases, they will like mess up the hair while doing the makeup because the bride wouldn't have protected the hairstyle prior to getting the makeup done. And you know, that messes up the look. So you want to ensure that it is properly tucked away, whether it is with a satin wrap, a bonnet, or even a mesh over the hair, just to not to get it pulled up. So on the day of your wedding, these tips are very important. So the day of, ensure that you do this, you won't regret it. So yeah, those are some tips that I highly recommend to brides. So for those of us who want to create content, who's into content creation like myself, and for brides who want to, you know, do their own little videos, your TikTok videos or whatever, differently from what the photographer or videographer would be capturing, these are some good ideas. So you can do your time-lapse prep as a stylist or the bride. So you'd set up your tripod with your phone, you put it in time-lapse mode, and it will be just capturing everything in time-lapse. You know, it is sped up in time-lapse, so it wouldn't be too long, but at the same time capturing everything. You know, and you can always crop that and make your video how you want it. Choosing your style moment, this is an example. So these are some content creation ideas that you can do prior to the wedding day. So you could do like a video with you selecting the dress that you wanted, or trying on different dresses, and then you have a scene on the wedding day where you video yourself putting on the dress. That's also a good choosing your style moment. You can do before and after shots. So before your wedding makeup is done, or before the hairstyle is revealed. You know, those are good content ideas. And natural glam tutorial reels. Those are my favorites. I also do natural glam, so I usually recommend persons to do like the before and after. Sometimes you can't tell the difference because it's so beautiful. Natural glam is like really nice, and it goes well with natural wedding hairstyles. So for my brides, I normally recommend opting for something soft and elegant. It complements the natural bridal hairstyle so well. You will be in awe when you see the bride. Lovely, sophisticated, elegant, regal, to say the least. So natural glam tutorial reels, that's a good idea. So those are two good one. Those are some good behind the scenes content ideas for stylists and also brides, of course. And now it's time for Q&A. So all questions are welcome now.
Wonderful. And we must say thank you. Throughout the webinar, questions were piling in, and I actually tried to get in as much as possible. There's few more questions here in the queue, and a person is saying a friend of theirs is getting married and wants to know how they can choose a stylist to help for that big day. So on our website, if you go to stylelife.com, there's a link that says services. From there, you can click on hair and go through. If you want to do a 30 minutes, 55, you choose the look, choose a stylist, and there you go. If you want to be connected with Tiffany Reid, you can just fill out a form, book the service, will send you a form to complete and the rate, and then you can get that consultation going. Another question. Oh, I just answered that one. Is there a resource I can go to find style ideas? Do you want to take that one, Tiffany? Is there somewhere our viewers can go to find styles idea? Should they want to do a consultation with you or any particular hairstylist?
Yes. You can get style ideas from my page, as well as I do have a catalog that you'll be able to view. And if you want to personally like search, you can always go on Pinterest. That's a good site to look for natural wedding hairstyles.
Wonderful. I must say, I
And you,
truly enjoyed the presentation and it was really informative. And I must say thank you. The information was well received. And I'm sure many brides who are watching or who will be getting the recording will be saying thank you and will send the products linked. Also, the accessories. Those that were shown on screen, we do have a link, shopping cart on Amazon that you can get access to. So those of you who are watching or those of you who have signed up but not getting a chance to come on, we will send you an email to show where you can book the services, where you can purchase the oils, as well as where to get those accessories. Any questions from you, Julie?
no questions. I echo what Julaine said. I think it was a fantastic presentation. I was married more than 20 years ago before I grew up my natural hair. And I had relaxed hair, chemically relaxed hair, and straight extensions. But I'm just looking at all of these styles and thinking, well, I don't have to get married to wear them. I can just, if I'm going to, a nice event or somewhere fancy, maybe just, not have as many of the bridal accessories, but so many of, even like how you're wearing your hair right now, Tiffany, I think is like, I love it so much.
Yes.
I love it. And I'm definitely still learning, hairstyles for myself. I always learn something. So thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to having you back again.
Right. And if you want to put the last screen up for us, Tiffany, I want the viewers to be able to see where they can reach us in terms of getting information. The last screen showcases our membership page. So you can sign up for our complimentary membership or the exclusive membership. You can also follow us on our social media pages at Instagram at Style Life Club. Same goes for TikTok. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, and also on our membership platform and our website at styleslcrownclub.com. We're everywhere. So if you want to book a session through Style Life, you can go to stylelifecrownclub.com, book a session with a stylist. If you want to connect with Tiffany, you can do the same through Style Life. And we must say thank you all for joining. You can expect the recording shortly, and don't be afraid to like our pages and follow us. And thank you, viewers, for joining us. It was absolutely amazing to have Tiffany on tonight. And you'll be seeing more from her through Style Life on Style Life Crown Club. Thanks, guys, for your time again, and have a wonderful night. Bye, everybody.